Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a newer software developer just getting your feet wet, or even an experienced coder trying to optimize your workflow, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're talking about a massive shift in how we work with artificial intelligence. We are officially moving away from those standard, passive AI chat boxes and stepping into the world of autonomous tools that literally live and breathe right inside your terminal. Specifically, we're taking a close look at Claude Code. I am so excited to guide you through this because honestly, this isn't just another coding assistant. It's a completely new paradigm for getting your work done.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the evolution from chat, take a look inside the Agentic Loop, talk about compacting your context window, explore tools for file operations, and finally wrap up with permission modes and safety.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the evolution from chat.
So we need to fundamentally shift our mental model of what an AI assistant actually is. If you've used standard chat apps, you know the drill, right? You input text, the AI outputs text. That's it. Nothing happens in between. You have to manually copy the code, paste it into your editor, run it, find the bugs yourself, and then report back to the AI. But Claude Code is fundamentally different. It doesn't just spit out text. It lives right in your terminal. It actively reads your code base, it takes direct action by editing files or running commands, and crucially, it verifies its own work. It's kind of like the difference between asking someone for a recipe versus having them actually step into your kitchen and start cooking for you.
Which brings us to Section 2, inside the Agentic Loop.
To really understand how it does this cooking, we have to look at the beating heart of Claude Code, the Agentic Loop. Think of Claude Code like a highly skilled sous chef in your digital kitchen. The Agentic Loop is basically a continuous, self-correcting cycle. When you give it a task, it doesn't just guess blindly. Just like a good sous chef who checks the pantry, preps the ingredients, cooks the dish, and then actually tastes it before plating it for the customer, Claude does the exact same thing with your code. It gathers the required context, decides which tool to call, takes an action, and then, this is the magic part honestly, it verifies the results. Did it actually achieve what your prompt asked for? If the food doesn't taste quite right on the first try, Claude goes back and runs the loop again until the results are completely verifiable.
Let's see how this builds chronologically for just a single command. First, step 1, you enter your prompt. Step 2, Claude gathers context by interacting with the model. Step 3, the model returns either text or a tool call, which basically means it decides it needs to take a physical action, like editing a file. And step 4, it executes that tool, verifies the outcome, and then either finishes up because the job is done, or it loops right back to step 2. It is entirely relentless in trying to solve your problem.
Now, don't worry, it's not a runaway train. Remember, you are always the head chef in this kitchen. Throughout this entire loop, you have total control. You can add more context, you can hit pause to interrupt it, or you can steer the model in a completely new direction to guide it toward your final goal. You're collaborating with the agent here. You're not surrendering to it.
All right, moving on to Section 3, compacting your context window.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next big challenge, memory. As a new developer, you're probably wondering, well, how does the AI keep track of a massive code base without getting totally overwhelmed? Every AI has what's called a context window, a strict limit on how much conversation, file content, and command output it can remember at any one time. And when you're running long agentic loops, that memory fills up super fast. But Claude Code handles this automatically through a really clever process called compaction. Basically, when it hits that memory limit, Claude automatically figures out what past information is no longer needed and just removes it. For the really important stuff, it generates a summary. It's essentially summarizing the past to make room for the future. This brings the context window right back down, so it can keep working seamlessly on your vast code bases without you ever having to start a new chat window.
Let's jump into Section 4, Tools for File Operations.
Now, let's talk about how Claude actually gets its hands dirty. Tools are the crucial backbone here. They're what separate active agents from your standard input-output AI. When the AI decides it needs to take action to get closer to a task, it uses specific tools. The most common ones include the read file tool to actually look at your existing code, the search web tool to look up documentation or solutions online, and tools to execute shell commands directly in your environment. But how does it know which one to pick? Well, Claude relies on semantic searching. It truly understands the meaning behind your prompt and smartly determines exactly when to call a specific tool to get the output it needs. It's incredibly intelligent routing, and it's happening entirely behind the scenes.
Finally, we have Section 5, permission modes and safety.
So the crucial point here is safety, right? If an AI is reading my files and executing commands in my terminal,
how on earth do I stop it from breaking my production code? Look, this is a very real, very valid fear for any developer. But Claude Code has a sort of built-in conscience via its permission modes. Let's look at the three main ones. The default mode is moderate risk. It absolutely has to ask your explicit permission before it edits a file or runs a shell command. It always checks with you first. Then there's auto accept. Now, this is the high-speed, high-risk lane. It will edit your files without asking you, though it does still ask before running major terminal commands. And finally, we have plan mode. If you are a junior developer, this is your ultimate safe sandbox. In plan mode, Claude only uses read-only tools to compile a plan of action. It won't touch or change a single thing until you review the plan and give it the green light.
I do want to offer a bit of a mentor-like warning here, straight from the source material. It is absolutely crucial to be cautious when you're skipping permissions. Giving Claude Code free reign in auto-accept mode means a mistake could slip into your project or a destructive command could run before you even notice or have the chance to catch it. Always respect the power of the tool you're using.
Fortunately, staying safe is actually incredibly easy. Here's a highly practical tip for your terminal. You can instantly toggle between these permission modes just by pressing Shift and Tab. Literally, that's it. If you find yourself in auto-accept and things are just moving way too fast, just Shift plus Tab your way back to a safer mode. It puts you immediately back in the driver's seat.
To summarize our anatomical breakdown today, Claude Code is a deeply powerful agent operating right inside your terminal. It integrates an autonomous agentic loop that acts and verifies, a managed context window that automatically compacts so it never loses the plot, configurable tools that let it interact with your files and the web, and of course, strict safety permissions that ensure you are always the one steering the ship. It fundamentally transforms how we build software.
So we've broken down exactly how it works, how it thinks, and how it keeps your projects safe. The only question left for you as you boot up your terminal today is, are you ready to let Claude take the keyboard? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Happy coding, and I'll catch you next time.